I hope you guys are having a great holiday season so far. Today's video is going to be on the new Sephora and Pantone Universe Color of the Year items. The shade is Marsala, and I do have all of those products on my face today, and I plan on hauling them and swatching them and stuff for you in this video, as well as a demo, which will be towards the end of the video. But first, if you watched my last Get Ready With Me video, I told you guys I would be announcing the winner to the Vice Limited palette in this video. I will list the winner right here. Please check your inbox so that I can get the information and send that palette out to you as soon as possible. Real quick, I just want to say thank you to everybody who left a comment on that video. By the time that I went to pick a random winner, there was about 1,500 comments, which that's a lot of comments. And you guys are really funny and really great and really creative with the word war pony. And a lot of you guys are wondering what war pony was to me. And war pony is one of my geldings, or one of my horses that I ride. He is a Spitfire of a horse. His dad's AAA off the track and his mom is out of AAA horses off the track. He is a running SOB. But his name is War Pony, and if you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen him. I'll put it right here. I'll post a picture of him right here. We were chasing some cattle, or getting in some cattle a couple years ago, and you can see his ear really well in that photograph, and his ear is split in half. Like it's been like that since he was a colt, like went out to the pasture and it was just split. So I'm not sure exactly what he did to it, but since then he's just got the name War Pony. So there's that for you guys who were wondering. I mean, there's more history to the word than that, but we won't get into all of that. So in any event, there's that out of the way. So let's just dive into these Sephora and Pantone products. The packaging on everything looks like so. It's in faded ombre of like the Marsala color. So I'm just going to show you these two boxes so I don't have to show you every single box, but they all do mimic each other. So the first thing here is the Pro Angled Blush Brush in the number 49, and it is from their Pro Airbrush series, which I quite like their brushes from this range, and so I thought it was really cool that they came out with one for the Color of the Year stuff, because the handle is the Marsala color. So that is the blush brush right there, and I did use it to put on the cheek products from the cheek palette that I used in the look that's on my face today, which again, that look will be at the end of the video if you want to see the products demoed and stuff like that. But that's the brush. Really like this brush. Actually, everything that I bought from the collection, I really like. I bought a few things, you know, not knowing, but I did use everything, and I just really enjoyed how the look came out, and I enjoyed the products using them. So these other two things are the Sephora and Pantone Universe. This is the Bold Marsala Mascara and Brow Highlighter. And I wasn't originally going to get this, but the brow highlighter clicked in my mind because I do have colored mascaras and glitter mascaras that I like to run through my brows every once in a while. So I thought it would be cool to use, you know, all of this stuff together and throw this through my brows, which is what's on my brows. But I also put it through the tips, just the very tips of my lashes, and it's going to be hard to pick it up on camera, but it really adds a cool accented effect with everything else that's going on the eyes and the face. So let me show you what the brush looks like here. It's a fairly large mascara, and then the brush is also kind of big. It wasn't a problem, like, you know, accenting the lashes, but it was a little difficult to get the tail end of the brow. Like, you probably want to scrape off a lot of product when you go to do the tail of the brow, but this is what the brush looks like, and then the color. And I quite like how it looks through my brows as well. I should mention real quick too that the ferrule on the brush, and then also the packaging on all of this stuff, is kind of like a rose gold packaging, which is really pretty. So this next product is the Marsala Metal Shine Liquid Liner. Again, I have it on, and it's a liquid liner with a brush tip. Really metallic. That is what it looks like. And the brush tip, I kind of had to go over it a little bit to get a little bit of opaqueness out of it, but it is pretty nice in one swipe. So that is what it looks like, and it is really a metallic finish. And I like that it has a brush tip as well. Pretty thin. It was fairly easy to create the liner that's on top of my lids as well. So I really like the liner. And then this next product is the only one that I didn't use out of the things that I purchased, because I used the other lip set as opposed to this one. And this is the Pure Marsala Matte Lip Cream. And it looks like that. I thought that the color was a little bit dark for the eyes. Like, I wanted the lips to to kind of match with the eyeshadow, and this was coming off just a little bit dark, so I opted for the ombre set, which I'll also show you. But this is what the packaging looks like. It is really pretty, and there is the color right there. Let me show you guys a swatch of the mascara as well, so you can get a kind of a hint of the color there. One thing that I did find across the board with the products is all the shades that are Marsala aren't all the same. So that's just something to make note of. They all kind of have a little bit of a variation between them. This next product is the Shimmering Marsala Cheek Trio. And oh, fingerprints galore on that guy. These products are beautiful. I have them all on the cheeks, kind of in an ombre effect. But the highlighter, it's just passing for me to be light enough for my skin tone. It's borderline, but it is really, really pretty on the cheeks. I use this on kind of more on the front apple and this towards the back of the cheek. But these blended nicely. They have great pigmentation. They're very, very pretty. The two smaller ones are 0.11 ounces a piece, and the larger one is 0.17 ounces a piece, so you're getting a good amount of product in here. These two shades, they kind of look matte, but I feel like on the skin they come off more as a satin, and then the highlighter is quite shimmery. So you have got the highlighter, which is Spanish Villa or Villa, Coral Pink, and then you have got the Marsala shade over here. And these are so pretty. Like really, really pretty products. They're easy to work with as well. So even the highlighter's got just a hint, you can see just a hint of the Marsala in there. It was barely passing on the lightness for my skin tone, but the products are really pretty. And then this next set that I got is the Marsala Layering Lip Collection, and that is what is on my lips. It's 5 little pencils that all have got the, you know, the Marsala tone. First I'll show you the 2 that I have on my lips. I have got Dusty Cedar. It's Marsala Layering Lip Crayon. I have got Dusty Cedar around the outer perimeter, and then I put the lighter shade Rose Dawn kind of through the center, and I really, really like it. And these feel great on the lips. They're not as opaque as the lipstick is, but they still have pretty good pigment, I think. So this first one here I'll show you is Dusty Cedar, right there. And then this other one is called Rose Dawn. And this one here has got a slight bit of pink to it. The combination just looks really nice. And I use them with the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat in Pillow Talk. And the combo is pretty awesome. These little crayons are 0.06 ounces a piece. So they're not like a great big crayon. They're more like a deluxe sample size, I would say. So this next shade here is the Marsala color. So as you can see, it's kind of got the same tone as the lipstick, but it's not as opaque as the lipstick. And then we've got, this shade here is called Muted Clay, right here. And then the last one is Canyon Clay, which is right here. So there are all 5 of the shades that come in the lip set, and I really like them. I think that these are great colors. It's a nice little set. I feel like there's a bit of a variation in finish with these shades as well. The Marsala color appears to be glossy, and then like the lighter shade that I put through the center of the lip called Rose Dawn appears to have more of a satin finish, as well as the other shade that I used on my lips in the Dusty Cedar. The other 3 look pretty glossy. These guys look pretty glossy, and these ones look more like a satin. They're not fully matte though. And then the last item that I have to show you guys is the palette. It is the Sephora Pantone Universe Facets of Marsala Multi-Finish Eye Palette. And there are 6x4, 24 eyeshadows at 0.017 ounces a piece. So they are just under 0.02 ounces, which a 0.02 ounce shadow is about the size of, it is the size of the ones that's in the Lorac Pro palettes. So these are just ever so slightly smaller than that. And then this palette here is it's less than half the size of the original, like the larger Sephora Pantone eyeshadow palette. So I'm going to compare it size-wise to one of those. So here is an older Sephora Pantone Universe palette, and here is the new one for comparison size. So it is quite a bit smaller than the original sizes. And then inside the palette you do have a mirror in there that stays open. You can't like flip it all the way backwards. It just kind of props open like that. And then you have got the shadows. I was really surprised with how well these performed in the eyes. Some of them did have a bit of like kick up with product when you put the brush in there, but I always by nature just tap my brush off, and I had very minimal fallout on my face, and they blended really nicely. They had great pigmentation. I really like how these performed. So let me get up close and show you guys some swatches of these. So here's the palette up close. You have got a range of browns, both some cool ones and some warm ones, and then you've got your like Marsala tones, and then there's some green and blue and even a slight little purple down in the corner. I think there's a great variety of shades in there. And then these shadows are housed in a really thin plastic sheet. This sheet here, this thing right here, doesn't feel the most substantial, but the rest of the palette does. And then the palette does have the diagram with all the shade names on the back of it. So let me give you guys some swatches of these. They're very pigmented. I was really, really happy with this. There's those ones. And then these guys. And then these next four. Ooh, those are some beautiful colors. These ones. I'll point out which ones are the mattes here in a minute as well. It's actually kind of hard for me to swatch them because the pans are kind of small compared to my fingers, so it's hard to kind of get in there without clawing it. And then these last four up here. So real quick, I'll point out the matte shades in the palette. You've got this one right here, which is the Marsala color. You've got this brown over here, this this brown and this gray color, and then you've got this kind of a peachy beige color, the orange, burnt orange color, and then this brown, and then this dark color right here are all matte shades. So there's a good variety. Some of these shades with the chunkier glitter in them, the glitter, this is one of them, has got the glitter shades that I use to highlight. Those actually transferred onto my eye, so I was really happy with that because I thought, oh great, another one of those shades that's, you know, kind of matte satin with the bigger glitters that's not going to adhere, but they did adhere, so that's really nice. One more close up, hopefully you guys can see the finishes a little bit better when I turn it like that. And those are all the products that I purchased from the collection. Pleasantly surprised with all of them. I thought that they all worked out great. The eyeshadows, the mascara, the liner, the lip products. The only one that I didn't wear is the lipstick, but it comes off very, very pigmented and creamy, so I'm pretty sure that's going to be good as well. So I'm really happy with the performance of all of these products. So if you're interested in seeing the look that's on my face and then also a demo of these products, you can hang tight and we will get into it right now. I'm going to start off with the highlighter from the Shimmering Marsala Cheek Trio. It's this shade right here. It's called Spanish Villa. And I'm going to use that on a pro-angled Sephora brush number 49. I'm just going to pick up a bit of that. It looks quite shimmery, so I'm just going to pick up a bit and I'm going to put it on the top of my cheeks. Oh, it's pretty. It is pretty. And it's not too dark for me either, sweet. Little there, there. Normal highlight spots that I like to use. Then on that same brush, I'm going to go into Marsala, the biggest pan in the palette. And I'm just going to pick up a bit of this. I'm not sure how pigmented it may be. I'm going to pick up some, put it off on the back of my hand. And I'm just going to put this in the back of the cheek. like kind of right here. Give it a blend. Then again, the same brush, I just kind of dusted it off. I'm going to go into the center shade, which is called Coral Pink, and I'm going to put that on the apple part of my cheek and kind of blend it into the Marsala and that highlight. Altogether, that makes a really pretty cheek. Now onto some eyes. I did prime my eyes with the Tarte CC eye primer. Yeah, the one in the stick from the lash line to up underneath the brow already. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use this shade right here. It is called Shifting Sand. I'm going to pack that all over the lid. It's like a light shimmery, slightly pewterish kind of color. And I'm going to do it all over the lid because the liquid liner is like a Marsala like metallic shade, and I want it to really contradict against the lid shade so it's more vibrant and visible. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up that shade Shimmering, did I say Shimmering Sand? Shifting Sand on a Goss number 18 brush. It's a flat shader, and I'm going to go ahead and pack this all over my lid. Yeah, and it is, it's slightly pewterish. It's really, really pretty. I kind of really wanted to use this shade right here, which is called Marsala Glitter. It's like a super, super pretty shade. I wanted to kind of use that on the lid, but that's too close to the liquid liner. So let's go into this shade right here. It's called Hot Chocolate, and it is a matte, deep, burnt brick kind of color on a Chikuhodo GSN 9 brush. I'm going to pick up that color, and that one is a matte shade, so shall be interesting. Tap off the excess, and I'm going to put that in the crease here. I'm going to take it slightly down here. Yeah, that's about the shape that I'm looking for, and then kind of intensified a bit. I'm really leaning towards these greens here, but I want to keep it kind of towards the Marsala color. So I'm going to go into, oh, the decisions. There's so many pretty colors in this palette. I'm going to go into this shade right here, which is called Marsala Matte, another matte shade. It's a lighter reddish kind of color, and I'm going to pick some of that up on a Goss number 6 brush. Removing any cat hair that may be on the brush. Give that a tap. That one's quite powdery. I'm going to go ahead and blend out that the front and kind of around that shade that we put through the crease. These are blending really nice. I'm going to go ahead and put down this shade right here as my highlight. It's called Autumn Blonde because I want to use that Marsala matte kind of as a transition. There isn't really a transition shade quite light enough. I just want it to be that same tone. So putting down the highlight first and blending it up, it'll create that. Is what I'm hoping for anyway. So I'm going to use a GSN 7 brush and pick this up right here. And that one's a bit powdery, that one. I'm going to put it right underneath the brow. It's kind of like a satin shade, but it's got some glitter, like bigger glitters in it. And they're adhering to that primer as well. That's cool. Okay, now we're going to go back into Marsala Matte on a Goss number 19 brush. And blend that up into the highlight shade. very lightly. Shades are like really pigmented. And I'm going to dust that same brush off on a towel here and then give that a better blend, because they're really pigmented shades. Wow. I'm really pleased with how this is coming together. The shadows are, I mean, some of them are kind of powdery, but they're really performing nicely on the eye. Oh, I think that is so pretty. I'm really pleased with how this shadow look is coming together here. I'm going to pick up just a little bit more of the Shifting Sand shade on that Goss 18 brush and clean up the crease just a bit. My eyes are so hooded. There's like so much real estate in the crack of my eye. It's ridiculous. So I don't know. Sometimes I don't feel like this is really necessary because it's rarely seen, but I'm just going to clean that up a bit right there. Very, very minimal fallout underneath the eye. For some of those dark shades, I thought I would definitely have more, but awesome. I shaped up and kind of filled in my brows with the Anastasia Ash Blonde Brow Wiz, and then we're going to go all out here with this Marsala color. I'm going to use the Sephora and Pantone Universe, and specifically this is called the Bold Marsala Mascara and Brow Highlighter, so I'm going to put this in my brows. And it's a pretty big wand, so I'm probably going to have to be kind of careful, but that's pigmented. Whoa. I'm one who really likes to play with my brows like with glitter and color anyway, so I kind of dig this. Just put some through the tail. This brush is really big, so the tail's kind of be difficult, I think. Ah, no! Take the spoolie. Spoolie it through. I forgot to push the record button again. But I'm trying to put this eyeliner on camera. It's the Marsala Metal Shine Liquid Eyeliner. So that's what's going on. So there are the eyes before I put on some mascara and the Cocoa lashes that I like to use. I really, really dig it. I'm totally down for looks like this. It's probably a little bit too much Marsala for some, but I really like how it's coming together. So I really wanted to use like a brown in the waterline, but even a brown and a reddy brown at that really makes my eyes look bloodshot. So I went with the Marc Jacobs Highliner Gel Crayon in the shade Wavelength, which is a blue shade, which is actually a nice contrast with the Marsala. So that's what I have on the waterline. And then I'm going to go back to this mascara here, the Marsala mascara that we put through our brows. And I'm just going to, I'm going to accent the lashes. Like, I'm just going to put it on the tips. Like, just kind of touch it on the tips for a little accent there. And then just a dash on the lower lash line. And see how it goes. So just like, just accenting them a little bit with that color. You guys will probably never be able to see it on camera, but it looks pretty cool. And then just a little bit on the outer lower lash line. Just a dash. I'm going to go in with the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat in the shade Pillow Talk, and I'm going to lightly line my lips with this. Just a real light lining of this. Then I'm going to use two shades from the Layering Lip collection. The first one is called Dusty Cedar. So I'm going to put this kind of around the outer perimeter. That color is so pretty. It's like got a dash of pink in it. And then I'm going to go in with the shade Rose Dawn, which is a lighter shade. I'm going to put that kind of in the middle. So there is the overall finished look. That was like really fun to use all those products. I saved everything for this video. It's a total straight first impressions, but everything really worked nice. I dig the outcome of it. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to wear sunscreen, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.